What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Investing Bros. It is Friday, September 22nd, and it is a bittersweet day because brighter days are ahead, but this is going to be the last 9 a.m. live show. We will still be having some 9 a.m. content that will come out. However, the live shows will be moving to 4 to 5. So we'll kind of be breaking down and talking, engaging with the community pretty heavily today. We know that there's some people that are maybe not going to be able to make it over to 4 or 5. And that's the way we're going to continue to make content for you guys in the morning. We know there's going to be a whole brand new group of audience that loves to watch our videos afterwards, but can never join live. And now they'll be able to join live at the 4 to 5. So we'll be able to reflect with you guys, continue to move forward, celebrate our wins, talk some crypto, but also, again, really want you guys to be commenting today. T-Shroom and I both. It's kind of actually really nice convenience that there's not a whole heck of a lot of crypto news today. We do have some stories we're going to talk about, but we really want to talk with you guys, engage with you guys. And we're also going to talk about this September. I mean, we got a couple days left, a little over a week left in September. And while the month is technically still green right now, there are some signs to be concerned about. That dip we talked about happening in October, does it start in September? Where will September close? Is it going to be green? Is it going to be red? Make sure you stick around for the entire show. And again, please be commenting in chat, and we want to engage with you guys. I see a couple people in here. I want to go ahead and shout out Elo Brown, of course. That's the cry face. Elo, we love you. Army Piper in chat. The strongest investments are forged in the fires of a dumpster. Hey, I'll tell you what. There's a lot of things that are good in dumpster. I'm not a cat person, but here's a little piece of advice that if you guys are ever thinking you want to get a cat, the best cats are found in dumpsters. I'm kidding you. I've met like thousands of cats. My mom used to breed cats and sell them for like $2,000. I don't know if you guys know what ragdolls are. That was my life growing up. I do not like cats. But the best cats I've ever come into contact with were found in dumpsters. So go get your cats out of dumpsters. I'm going to throw it over to my co-host this morning, Mr. T-Shroom. What is going on? You liked my cat comment, huh?
I did. I
got
did.
you giggly.
I didn't deserve that
How
little
you
laugh.
Yeah, I was saying, how are you feeling about this morning?
Now I'm feeling a lot better than I deserved. But yeah, no, it is a bittersweet show. I love to hear that cat story. So let's back up a little bit. So your mom bred cats as you were growing up?
At one point in my childhood, I had 25 cats in my home.
Dang.
And I don't like cats. Now, the majority of those cats were kittens, so that's
what
at
don't
least
you
a
like
little
about
better.
cats? What is it about the cat that you don't like?
It turns out that when I left home and went to college and came back, I'm like really allergic to cats right now. Okay. So like I could pet a cat, but like if a cat, you guys know, like when cats like freak out, they put off like pheromones and stuff. If a cat freaks out and I'm in the same room, my eyes will start itching, my throat will get scratchy, my face kind of starts swelling up. So I'm allergic to cats. I think it's just because I grew up with them. It never really exposed while I was a child, but after leaving, I developed it. But no, I don't like cats. You can't trust cats, first of all. You cannot trust what they're about to do. I have watched a cat just sit there and purr and purr and purr, and with no notice whatsoever, it attacked me.
Oh, no.
I walked past a cat one time on the couch, and this was a fine cat. This is actually probably one of the better cats that we had. And it reached out and it clawed into my arm. And then when I ripped away, because you don't like that, it had stuck in and it hung from my arm with its claws in there. So no, I don't like cats. I'm sorry.
What about this cat right here?
I'm sorry if others do. Like
this mommy cat and her kitten.
Good,
not a fan?
Good. Go be a good mama in another house. But again, I will tell you this. There's been 2 cats in my life that I've actually thought this is a great cat.
Okay.
And both of them were found in dumpsters.
Okay.
So
thank you, Piper, for leading us down that rabbit trail. Okay, well, guys, this is our last morning show, so I thought I'd have a quote about change, and this is that quote. There is nothing permanent except change. It's from Heraclitus. So it doesn't get much better than that. This is, what we're experiencing here is change. And there's nothing in the universe that is more of a constant than change.
It's true. That's a very true statement. Very true statement. Back on cats. The other thing about cats is that this is scientifically proven. If you die, if you're in your house alone and you die, your dog will lay down next to you and wait for someone to come help. It'll cry. Cats will wait for a couple of hours for you to go cold, and they'll eat you, and they start with your eyeballs. You can't trust cats. You can't do it. So I was trying to make sure I get my point across. But I love the quote, T-Shroom. Love it. Let's see. We got some more comments in here. Ada Ace is in here saying last morning show with the cry face. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Who else do we have? Crimson Caravan Company is in here. Arsen246 is here. CBD Study says, I'm about to pull back from all this social media crap anyways. If it doesn't enrich me or my family, it seems pointless. Too many reasons to look at the phone versus looking at the world around me. You know what? It's crazy, CBD Study, because this is obviously a social media show. But amen. Like, I agree with that comment so very much. You know, there's definitely seasons because of what I do for a living. I have to engage with a lot of social media. I have to go and look at it a lot and study it. It's what I do. And there are very much moments where I'm like, why is it so stupid? Like, why is it the way it is? And sometimes the best thing in the world, one of my practices is on Sundays, I'm not saying I never look at my phone at all, but for the most part, you guys are never really going to see me engage with anything. You're not going to see me post stuff on Sundays because I choose one day a week to say, you know what, I'm going to get away from the crap. I'm just going to spend time with Tay and Brody, go spend time with friends. And I just try to take one day a week to completely remove myself from social media. And there's moments in my life where I'm like, it'd be nice to not engage with social media at all. But I love every single one of you, so that's what keeps me coming back every single day. Eric Wallen says, blah, 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 I want more cat stories. Oh, trust me, there's more cat stories. But that seems like more of a topic for a Only Bros session, one of our bro times. That we add that to the list. Tim's takes on weddings, Tim's takes on tipping, Tim's takes on jewelry, and Tim's takes on cats. Is all stuff that needs to be incorporated into bro times. Well, let's do this, T of Shroom.
What's up?
Let's go ahead and talk about crypto because that's why people clicked on it today. Let's go and take a look really quickly. We're going to be kind of brief with this. Our economic open this morning, Great Britain had their retail sales month over month come in. It actually came in a little lower than expected, but it was back up from last month. Last month, they dipped into the negatives down to 1.1%, but the consensus was 0.5, forecast was 0.4. So I guess we met the expectation of the forecast. It did come back in at 0.4. So that's actually, it's not as maybe bullish as they wanted it to be, but it's positive. So good job, Great Britain. You've had some wins this week. You've had some lower inflation numbers. And your retail sales are pushing back to the upside. Not a whole lot happening early next week. The next big thing happening on Wednesday is going to be durable goods orders. So not a whole heck of a lot of economic stuff happening. Let's keep moving on, though. Let's take an early look at our next FOMC meeting happening in November. So we will get a automatic pause in October because there's no meeting. We have, what is this? It's going to be not quite 2 months. No, 40 days. Because, this meeting, I think, actually, it happens like the last day of October, and then it finishes that Wednesday is the first day of November. So 40 days, a little over a month. We will have more than likely, CME is predicting another pause. And none of the predictions moving forward are rate hikes, even though Jerome Powell kind of implied that there's still a potential that they could do that. Right now, it looks like the pause is coming, but I might talk about this a little later in the show, T-Shroom, because the more and more I'm looking at, and especially looking at old data, we brought this actually up yesterday, this chart here. These are interest rate hikes. I would not be surprised, T-Shroom, if we actually don't get a rate cut at all next year. We might be done raising rates, but we might not have to. We might just stay at 5.5 for an entire year. Look at periods of time in the history. Yeah, there's some blow off tops here, but there's lots of times when you're looking at interest rate hikes that they actually just move sideways for a period of time before getting cut. Could we see that happen right now as well? I'm actually kind of low-key leaning in that direction, but we'll have to wait and see how all of that plays out. Let's keep moving on, though, and take a look at liquidations this morning. Look at our 24 hours. Not a lot, guys. Only $10 million total of liquidations, and not all of them are going to be long liquidations. There was $7 million worth of longs liquidated versus 3.5 million shorts liquidated. But again, when we're talking about the grand scheme of things, and especially what we've seen recently happening in liquidations on trading, that is not a significant number whatsoever. Ethereum almost at the same level at 9.35. It's a more balanced ratio here. Long liquidated were $5.8 million. Shorts liquidated were $3.48 million. Were liquidated. Third place is others. I mean, a conglomeration of a lot of other things. Really good day, guys, because not that many people lost money trading. That's a good thing. Let's keep moving on and update. Where's our Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index? As I expected, because we didn't get a bounce back up in price yesterday, we ticked down to 43, back into fear after being up at 47 in the neutral. And I told you guys I thought that we keep moving to the upside. I'm not saying that the upside is done for sure, and we're going to talk more about this in the TA section. But as I'm looking at the charts, and I've told you this before, you need to be ready to change your opinion when you see new information and new things pop up. I'm not very certain necessarily that we are going to be moving to the upside. And that's going to kind of get into that question. Will September close green, or will we end up finishing red? Make sure you stick around for the TA section. Let's take a look at coin market cap open. Bitcoin exactly, well, it was for a second exactly where we left it yesterday. Technically, it just turned red, green. There we go. So it's exactly where we left it yesterday. Let's just go ahead and say it. Let's just say it's exactly where we left it yesterday.
It's exactly where we left it yesterday, Tim.
Thank you, T-Shroom. I love that you're backing me up. All right. Ethereum up 5.5%, excuse me. Let's see here. Nothing really big. Cardano down 1.56%. We're going to touch on Cardano a little today. And as much as we love Cardano, and you guys know we love our Cardano, I think today is a little bit more of a bearish kind of look at Cardano and what's happening. And that kind of backs it right there. So far, it's one of the bigger losers. Toncoin has a bigger loss than it, though down 2.5% in the last 24 hours. Polygon Matic up down 1.5%. Litecoin up 1.5%. So kind of a mixed day, but nothing necessarily too big. Let's take a look at the broader class. Terra Luna, that's Terra Classic. Let's be clear, it's a rebrand or something. Up almost 8% today. Army Piper, thank you, Tim. That's exactly where we left it yesterday. Also, by the way, I don't know why this happens to Elliot Locke. Elliot, I promise you I see your super chats, but you always super chat me in the middle of a thought.
He does.
And then I get away from it, and I want you to know I appreciate you immensely, and I'm going to interrupt my thought for you, Elliot, and I'm going to read your super chat. And it has to do with cats.
It does.
So this is a good thing. I had a Maine Coon cat, largest cat breed, and I will tell you, I had no problem with mice or flies. Watch them go after a fly. It's very entertaining. You want to know what's crazy, Elliot Locke? The two dumpster cats of which I referred to that I liked, Maine Coons.
No way.
They're huge. But the thing about Maine Coons really are like, they almost act more like dogs than cats. And maybe it's because they're larger. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
That is a sizable creature right there.
It is.
These are Maine Coons, by the way.
That is
not the human.
That's a very fluffy Maine Coon. The Maine Coons I had were short-haired Maine Coons.
I'm more about the fluffy boys here. I like the fluffy boys.
That's a fluffy monster right there. That might be a bobcat, honestly.
Oh my
gosh.
That thing looks like the Easter bunny.
All right, that is a small lion, is what that one is.
Yeah.
Or a liger or something.
Not small felines.
Goodness gracious. All right, well, let's get back into crypto. Go back over here. So Luna kind of leading the way. Zill up 7.7%. Zalika, I don't know how you actually pronounce that. Let's see. Curve Dow token, actually up in the last 7 days, too. A lot of these coins up in the last 7 days. Up 4%. Conflux up. Oh, here we go. DZ ApeCoin back up. And look at this. Because of the 2.6% up in the last 24 hours, they're officially now up over the last 7 days. Not as much as they are over the 24 hours, but good for them. Good for ApeCoin. I don't know what we talked about on the show yesterday. I don't think we did. I retweeted or I commented on a tweet about this. T-Shun, did you see the report that NFT market right now is down 95%?
I did see it.
And I'm not an NFT guy. But when I saw that, I'm going to let you guys know right now. I might be looking at getting into the NFT space.
It was the same thought that I had, Tim. Because when do you buy? When there's blood in the streets.
When there's blood in the freaking streets. Let's keep moving on. Let's take a look at the biggest losers.
Let us know in the chat, what NFT project should we buy? And when I buy an NFT, it's going to be like the top bracket of the NFTs of the project. Yeah. Anyway, let us know.
Here's an NFT line I would absolutely get into. Eric Wallen is presenting it. Let's make an NFT collection, Tim. Dumpster cats. Listen, there's already an NFT line out there, T-Shroom, right now, that's just pictures of dogs pooping. And so if that's going to make it, I think dumpster cats could have a high road to success. But yeah, but we keep getting sidetracked. And that's, of course, because today's the last morning show. So I love sidetracks. Looking at our biggest loser today, Cosmos Atom down 3%, although they just keep shifting on us. Multiverse X or eGold. When did they change their name to Multiverse X?
It's not good.
Okay. Well, no, it's not, because they're down 3.2%. And in fact, it hasn't updated, but that looks like the biggest loser the last 24 hours. Toncoin, of course, we already talked about. Not too many coins are really that down. Of course, not that many coins are that too far up. So it's kind of been a more neutral day in crypto as a whole. That is our market open. Just to kind of even let you guys know to what you guys should be expecting. We actually had a great bro time with our gold members yesterday. It's really cool because what we do on Tuesdays with our silver members is we have like a private chat, and we get to engage with your guys' chats. We get to talk to you guys. We talk crypto. We talk about whatever else you guys want us to talk about. But with our gold members, there's a little less of them. We actually get on Discord and we talk. We bring everybody up on stage. They get to talk to us. We get to talk to them. And we're asking them advice on, what we should do moving forward. More than likely what 9 a.m.s will look like is 12, 15-minute long videos where T-Shroom and I will still come on. We'll just have to get here early in the morning, or I have to get here early in the morning. You get to shoot from your art gallery. We'll do like a 12, 15-minute long. We'll cover the market open really quick. We'll talk about the headlines of all the big stories you need to know about. We'll take a quick look at charts, but then we'll go deeper into that information in the 4 p.m. live streams. And we'll talk more about, what this really means, kind of break the news down, break the charts down, take more requests. So that's kind of what you should be expecting. You'll still get your alpha in the mornings. You'll still get the breakdown of everything that you might have missed while you were sleeping. That's what it'll kind of look like in the future. So smash the like button and let me know in the comments if you guys love that idea. But T-Shroom, it is time to get into our top story of the day, which was hard to choose. And I honestly don't even know what we went with because the news was not that plentiful this morning.
Yes.
What is the top story?
Yes, the top story is actually, I think it's going to be more of a lead into TA than anything. But the top story is actually just a tweet from Ben Cowen. He said, after spending the summer in the 800 to 1200 sat range, ADA to Bitcoin is likely to drop to 400 sats in the coming months. He's got a nice little convincing pattern here drawn out. And, we'll do a little bit of TA on it. We'll check it out. We're going to camp out on Cardano for a little bit today in the TA. But Tim, just initially, when you're thinking about, alt season, you're thinking about the Bitcoin dominance, there's a lot coming into play here for this move lower. And I think here at the channel, we've been kind of touting that this move lower is definitely coming in from a fundamental standpoint. And now you have Ben Cohen kind of pointing out on that. The charts are also indicating that as well.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. And I'll jump on the charts here in just a second to talk about that. I actually want to take a look at the chart he's referencing there. I don't know why. I'm literally looking at the same exact chart he is, but I'm not seeing it the way he's seeing it. I'll explain that here in just a second. Oh, there you go. Jump to my screen. What I will say, and I agree with Ben Cohen, I've found myself a lot recently being in similar directions to Ben. I think him and I have similar thought patterns, but he's a lot more extreme than I am, when it comes to Bitcoin dominance. We've talked about Bitcoin dominance before. Ben Cohen and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't even know Ben Cohen cared about Bitcoin dominance because I started talking about how I thought Bitcoin dominance was going to go back to the upside. And then all of a sudden, everything went big that Ben Cohen was talking about Bitcoin dominance. The difference between us, though, is I'm kind of putting it more in the range of like 60%. Of course, you guys know that. Ben Cowen's more looking in the range of maybe getting back up to some levels we had back in December of 2020, back up towards 70, 73%. He's in the boat of saying we can get back there. When you scroll to this 88 over Bitcoin chart, what he's looking at here, and I'm going to kind of make it, as clear as I can. He's pretty much saying we're going to get back down to the levels we had during the end of that bear market of 2019, 2020. So he's looking at levels of January, April of 2020 and saying we're going to see Cardano over Bitcoin do the exact same thing. Army Piper says, I can't see Ben Cohen stuff. He blocked me. I'm sorry, Army Piper. I'll never block you. You know that for a fact. And I understand what Ben's getting at, but when you look at his chart, pull back up his chart real quick. I don't know if it's still on your screen, T-Shroom. So let me kind of break down what I'm seeing when I saw this picture. He's looking at a rising level of support. He's looking at a flat top. So even that right there, let's just stop with that. T-Shroom, that's not a bearish pattern, what he just drew right there. But what I want to clarify is Ben Cowen's very intelligent and very smart. In fact, I think he's way smarter than me. I think he's a math genius. I am definitely not. But, ladies and gentlemen, flat tops with rising bottoms are a pattern called ascending triangles. Look it up. You don't even have to just trust my word for it. Look up ascending triangles. Look at what their definitions are. Those are more often than not bullish patterns. Oh, there we go. T-Shroom, you are on top of it today.
That's right.
Just go. There we go. Look at that picture. Rising lower trend line, flat resistance. Now, I will say it only has 2 touches on that resistance, so it's not necessarily the greatest thing. And I'm actually going to disagree with the pattern in general. I'm just breaking down what Ben Cowen is drawing on his chart. Ben Cowen is looking at, he drew a flat top and he drew rising level support. And so from his own analysis, this should be a more bullish thing. Now, what he's doing is, if you guys are looking at those yellow lines, he took the top of the date that peaked back in December of 17. He went to the bottom back in August of 19, took that same level. He now is extrapolating it over to the top that we had here in August of 21. And he's saying that's why we're going to see Cardano over Bitcoin fall to those levels. I'm just going to let you guys know I disagree. I do think that we're going to see Cardano over Bitcoin drop. I don't necessarily know, though, if it has to go all the way down to 400 Satoshis. And let's go back over to my screen. And this is why I am a little puzzled as to how he got the drawings he got. Because when I tried to draw it this morning, and I tried to mimic it just perfectly, just to give what he's saying a benefit of the doubt, what I got when I attached this rising level, is that we are not at any level of support at the moment. I do think ADA over Bitcoin is moving to the downside. I just think it's going to come in more in the range of 750 Satoshis, not 400. The other thing is, I would say when we talk about the flat top, again, I was talking about it in the realm of saying, hey, I'm just looking at what he drew, but I wouldn't make a strong case to say this should be a flat top. The only reason you would do that is you're just taking the weekly close back here in January of 18, and you're then taking over, some wicks back here in August of 21. I don't know if that's the best way to draw this line. In reality, what you're kind of looking at right there, I would almost make the case for more of going to the top of this wick and drawing this one over. And now you have a falling level of resistance. But either way, the point still stands. I can disagree with Ben. I respect Ben, and Ben can disagree with me, and I hope he would respect me. But even the case of saying, let's just go with this flat level of resistance, what we just pulled up, that is not a bearish sign. That means we have to drop that down to levels of 2019, 2020, get back to 400 Satoshis. I think more realistically right now, ADA over Bitcoin, like you guys see right here, it's sitting at 918 Satoshis. I think coming down to this support level somewhere in the range of, again, 750, 775, that to me is a more realistic expectation. This would cause Bitcoin's dominance to continue to move to the upside, again, as it continues to pick up momentum and dominance over altcoins. I still believe, you guys know this, we talked about this before, Cardano, I still have a buy order right now because I want to continue to add Cardano in my bags, but I'm not buying at current levels. I have my next buy order in at 18 cents. I think this is part of what we're going to see happen. I think you are going to see ADA over Bitcoin go to the downside. You're going to see ADA over USD go to the downside. But I am going to just, at this point, as much as I love and respect Mr. Ben Cowen, I disagree with the severity. And the truth is, we're also just responding to one tweet and one article. I would love to go, I might have to go watch a video he talks about this. We can't even say with certainty Ben Cowen is actually predicting 400 Satoshis. He might have just been drawing the chart and saying, hey guys, there's a chance that this happens, but he doesn't strongly believe it. I'm just saying, when I'm looking at those charts and I'm looking at ADA, I think 750, 775 is a more realistic level for ADA over Bitcoin. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree or disagree. Is he not bearish enough? Is it going lower than 400 Satoshis? Is Cardano going to zero? Let me know in chat what you guys think. That wasn't the technical analysis section, but it did require technical analysis. So let's go ahead and jump in here, T-Stream. Before we officially get into TA, let's go back to BroCam. And I know that we got to start our TA section off with our trivia question of the day, with our trivia elves, of which we still don't have a name for, I don't believe. Do we have a name for him?
No.
Yeah,
He's
we need
just a bro.
We need chat to name our trivia elf.
Yeah.
He's quickly becoming a very strong member of the team.
Yes.
Let's see. Before you give me that question, let's read some chat here. Indie Rock Crypto said Bitcoin dominance won't go that high. How high, Indie Rock Crypto? Like 60%, 70%? Let me know what level. What level do you guys go ahead and spam the chat? What level does Bitcoin dominance get to? What percentage? Is the top already in? Is it 55%, 57%, 60%, or 73? Could it get to 73%? Let me know what you guys think. Army Piper said, I told Ben that he was pushing people towards Bitcoin versus alts too early, and he was going to cost people money. Okay. Let's see what else is here. Elliot Locke said, which, by the way, I think I missed another. I keep doing this, Elliot, and I'm so sorry because, again, you leave super chats in the middle of points. Elliot Locke, thank you again. You have the projects on your wall, T-Shroom, is what he said.
Yeah. So I've got all these NFTs behind me, NFT projects. Got Platypus, got a lot of different ones, a lot of CNFT ones. So yeah, inmates, that's what it is. ADA inmates. Here's our factoid of the day. What was the second crypto ever created, Tim? Was it Ethereum? Was it Litecoin? Was it Purecoin? Or was it your doggy coin, Doge coin? Let us know in the chat what's your guess. Was it A, B, C, or D? Purecoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, in no particular order there. What was the second crypto ever?
I have never heard of Purecoin.
Oh.
So that makes me question if it was the second one that just quickly died. I'm leaning towards B, Litecoin. I know Litecoin has been around for a long time. I know I know a lot of crypto influencers who Litecoin was actually their first purchase, not Bitcoin. I know Ethereum is definitely not second. I know Dogecoin is definitely not second. Dogecoin came in later as a joke to make fun of the other cryptos. And then, of course, that's why Elon Musk loves it so much, is because he's like, wouldn't it be ironic if the coin made to make fun of the rest of the space ended up becoming the coin that everyone uses? So it's definitely got to be B or C. And the reason why I can't rule out C is because I've never heard of Purecoin. I'm going to go with B, though. B is my answer, Litecoin. And I guess we'll find out here a little bit later on in the show what the real answer is.
Yes, we will. And wouldn't it be funny if we started pronouncing it Dog Ecoin?
Dog Ecoin?
I feel like it easily could have gone that direction to pronounce it Dog Ecoin. Anyway, let's get into the charts.
Let's do it. And you guys know our chart section is always brought to you guys by Chart Prime, the number one indicator in the space. Look at these oscillators. By the way, guys, interrupting my pitch for Chart Prime. This altcoin, or sorry, this indicator is one of the reasons why I might be changing my mind on Bitcoin, and maybe some of you guys see it on the chart. But beautiful, beautiful oscillators. They really do help every single person trying to trade or even do like swing trades and long-term investments. I recommend this level of TA, even if you're just saying, I want to look for good spots to buy, good spots to sell. I don't want to day trade or anything. You'll still make your money's worth by having these indicators. Of course, you can always come watch the show as well, but wouldn't that just be so cool if you didn't have to come in to watch every single day? If you had work or something else, you missed the show, you still have this phenomenal indicator. You need it. Chart Prime. Go get it today. Link down below. Let's start off here with Bitcoin. And guys, after overwhelming bullish case, let's talk about why I thought we were going to be moving back to the upside. And it's the same charts that are showing me like right now I have concern. We're on the daily chart, ladies and gentlemen. We're on the daily chart right now in a season where we have been setting lower highs and lower lows since some strong bearish pressure, bearish indicators, bearish divergence. Well, let's break this down. Why am I aware of this? Why is this important? We are talking about where we've been since back in July. Well, we're in a bear trend. I would call this probably a secondary or maybe even a tertiary. Depends on how you want to really get down into it, but at least a tertiary bear trend. And during bear trends, sometimes bullish indicators get ignored, but the bearish ones are always very accurate. Now, it would be very bullish if we ignore a bearish indicator, but for right now, for right now, anytime I see a bearish indicator, I'm leaning towards believing it and saying that's a sign that price is going to go to the downside. Well, we had a lot of bullish things here, and you guys can see oversold, green reversal, but we didn't really do anything with it. We've kind of just stayed at the bottom. We've had all of these bullish divergences and then got a peak seeker right after we bounced off of, going below 25,000. So I was like saying, okay, here we go. Maybe this was the bottom we needed to kind of catapult and go start setting some higher highs again and get ourselves out of this tertiary bear trend and get back into a bull trend. Well, it didn't happen, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, top right here, 31, almost 32,000. I'd say maybe top right here, 30,000. Top right here, 28,200. I thought we could get back to 28.6, maybe 29,000 and have a short-term bullish trend before a big dip happens later in October. Well, we didn't get that, guys. In fact, we came up here to 27,500, lower high, and we printed for the first time since back at what? The peak. The last time we got a bearish oscillator on the daily chart was the high for this year, and we just got another one with a red reversal. It's not a good look. It's not a good sign. To me, this is where I'm now coming into question on, let's go out to the monthly chart. September at the moment is green. But remember, we've talked about this on the channel, and I'm going to interrupt myself right now, guys, because I get a lot of flack when I do this, when I lose these things. We got 2 super chats. Army Piper says, name the elf Brosif. Love it. That's a great suggestion. Elliot Locke, thank you again for the donation, says, no, Army Piper. Name him after Tim's Munchkin. What's Tim's Munchkin's name? Brody? Are you talking about my son Brody? Is he a munchkin? What's the definition of a munchkin?
Are you talking about my son Brody?
True. Thank you for the super chats, everybody. Getting back into this. We talked about this for the last couple of months because this was happening. Historically, when you get a red July, there's not been a lot of red Julys, but they're always followed by red August. Well, we got that one. It came true. And there's only been one case when we had a red July and then a red August where there was a green September. The rest of them had red Septembers. And it's absolutely possible we end up closing September green. We stay in this range, and then we have a red October. That's happened in the past. But just because we have a wick that comes back up here, we're still setting lower highs on the monthly chart, and we have over a week left of September. Things could get ugly, and I do think there's an outside chance that we end up getting a small red doji candle on September's chart. I think I'm still leaning towards a green September. I don't know if the bottom's just going to drop out from under us, because as of right now, I'm not seeing any real catalyst that could come, but you never know. Like, you never know when certain news is going to drop. You never know when BlackRock is going to make some new move that either pumps the market or dumps the market, or any other big institution out there. So right now, while I'm going to go ahead and say I think we are going to hold on to our green September before printing a red October, I'm now in the camp of saying I think there's a good chance. It's still a decent chance September drops and we end up turning red. So make sure you guys are taking a look at that, keeping aware. Again, the daily chart not necessarily doing the things we want it to do to spark joy about bullish stuff coming into the space. Let's take a look at some other indicators right here. You guys will see we rejected right off of our trend assistant. That is a very, very good it's a very good level to do TA. It's very bad for the price of Bitcoin. That's very bearish. We couldn't even make it back up to our daily dynamic reactor. Let's see what else we have going on here. Let's go down to the 4-hour chart and see what it is doing here with Bitcoin. Because I haven't even talked about this morning. When we come to oscillators, we are sitting, we're sitting in a small area where maybe we're going to get a small bounce. We bounce right off of the 4-hour dynamic reactor. That's a good sign. We got a green reversal here. Not going to be surprised to see us pump back up to the upside, maybe get back up to 27,000. But this, again, is now you're trying to get into, like, we talk about tertiary bear trends. Now we're looking at, what's the word for it, T-Shroom? Quad, if tertiary is the third level, what's the fourth level called? Quaternary? Quaternary? We'll go with it. Quaternary bear trend right here, guys. There's kind of even a little trend kind of forming right here. Not going to be surprised to see us just reject off this trend once again. Now, we'll keep our eyes on it. That's not anything that's necessarily locked in stone, but we are seeing the shorter time frames start to match up with larger time frames. The bearishness could definitely be coming in. Now, This is all open to change. We can all do a lot. There's a lot of things that could change over the next couple of days. We'll keep you posted. Of course, we still have our Saturday shows, which we haven't even talked about, guys. Despite the fact that we're changing the time of our weekday shows, Saturdays are still 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys come in and join us tomorrow for that. Piper says, welcome to the Bear Party, Tim. I've been here for almost 2 months when we were at 31K. Well, no, I mean, Piper, I've been in the Bear Party. I would say I've been in the Bear Party. I was just in the short-term bull party because my expectation, and it has not changed whatsoever, is I thought we were going to get up to 28.6. That's what has changed. I think 28.6 is looking very slim to get there. But I still thought we were going to go to 28.6, drop down here. Let me kind of even get my marker out. I thought we were going to come back up here, 28.6, drop back down here, maybe take a small bounce to 25, drop down to this zone right here around 23,000, maybe hover for a little bit, and then a drop down. And I didn't zoom out far enough here, guys. Gotta give me a second. I gotta fix this. I thought we were going to come down here into this box somewhere in the range of 19.5, 19.7, and that's when we'd get a quick wick that shot right back up, kind of trade sideways here, and then we'd slowly but surely make our way up to the upside for the halving event. So that's, I'm going to tell you guys right now, while I'm changing my minds on some shorter time things, and I'm changing my mind on this 28.6, I haven't changed my mind here. I still think we're going sub 20,000. I still think we're going to be coming down here and filling this CME gap right here. It comes all the way. What the heck? Oh, 19,940. I read that wrong. Yeah, there's a gap that runs all the way down to 19,940. I think we go a little bit lower than that. You rarely bounce right on the bottom of where the gap is. You usually fill it and then have a wick that goes a little bit below. I think this gap gets filled, and then that's a great opportunity for BlackRock and Fidelity and others to scoop up a lot of coins, a lot of supply. They're going to feed that into their ETFs that will make price go boom up into the right, but ultimately just gives them a lot of control over Bitcoin. It's what we're trading. I mean, a lot of people want price to go up, but we realize, I hope people realize that the cost of price go up because of BlackRock means there will be a lot less coins for you to get a hold of. There was a great video put out over on the BitLab Academy with Kelly Kellum, very good friend of mine, Kelly Kellum. He did an interview with Gary Cardone, and they kind of broke this down pretty simply. There's over 60 million millionaires in the world. Well, there's only 21 million Bitcoin. But let's even talk about that. There's 21 million Bitcoin. How many million Bitcoin have been lost? Like, how many belong to Satoshi or someone else? The truth is, guys, there might only be like 4 to 5 million Bitcoin left that are available. We're about 2 million away from getting full supply out there and running around. But there might only be 4 to 5 million liquid Bitcoin. There's not enough for every millionaire to have one Bitcoin, let alone they can't even have half of a Bitcoin. So I'm telling you right now, people are going to go hard after Bitcoin. I'm very, very excited about the future price action of Bitcoin. But BlackRock is going to try to control a monopoly of their own. And with that control, they will have control over how the world operates. They'll continue to look for ways to extort and to gain control over the everyday individual. And I'm telling you right now, non-financial advice, but it's technically financial advice. You're not going to necessarily get the same returns on your Bitcoin. You might get on other altcoins. Like, I think the days of bull markets where Bitcoin does like 300, 400x, I think those are over. I think realistically, we're talking about Bitcoin bull markets coming in with, they're going to come in with 8x's and 5x's. And then eventually we might get to a place where it's not even a 2x on Bitcoin returns. But the price will keep moving to the upside. There will be a very high price tag attached to that Bitcoin. And if you own one whole Bitcoin and you can hold on to that one whole Bitcoin, you will be some of the wealthiest people in the world. And so I'm telling you right now, one of your main strategies when you are investing in cryptocurrency is to try to get to where you own a Bitcoin. Like, one of I've reached this, and I'm not going to have to go higher and higher with this. My goals when I got into crypto were to get one Bitcoin. I want to own one Bitcoin. I want to own 5 Ethereum. I want to own, I guess I haven't put it in perspective. I think I want to own about 100,000 ADA. At this point now, I want to own about 100,000 XRP. These are all things that I think that people should look to try to get accomplished. But the number one step you should try to accomplish is, how can I get one Bitcoin into my portfolio before BlackRock and Fidelity and others out there accumulate them all? and the ability to even get 100 Satoshis will become very, very difficult. Take advantage of a great opportunity that you have right now. Get a hold of one Bitcoin, hold on to that one Bitcoin, and then continue to explore your other altcoin picks and your other portfolio stuff. T-Shroom, I'm interested. We have some super chats here. We'll read in a second. What is your opinion on that? Do you disagree? Do you have the same opinion? What's your thought process when it comes to acquiring cryptocurrency?
Yeah, I actually disagree. I think that
Go for it. Yeah,
that is one Bitcoin is like it. Bitcoin is the only one that I would make an exception for, but I think that trying to acquire like one Ethereum it's too arbitrary. You need to be making investments based on your tolerance for risk, right? And how much your net worth is. Now, that's what I believe. I think having one Bitcoin is a very sexy goal, right? It's very fun to think about that. I have one, but the thing is like if you don't think you can get to one and that's keeping you from just buying $500 worth of Bitcoin, that's a problem. That's a loss, right? So that's what I would say. And I know a lot of people who like, oh, well, I don't have enough money to buy a Bitcoin. It's like, right. I think that we've kind of got off to a bad start in crypto a little bit by having like this one coin. You can own one coin as being a goal. So that's just my opinion. I don't think that I'm like 100% right. I think that there's arguments both ways, but
yeah. I hear what you're saying. I think the reason why Bitcoin. So again, the returns, you're going to more than likely get higher returns on other altcoins. But when we're looking at the long-term future of cryptocurrency, I think it's hard to argue. I mean, people are going to make a case for it, but it's hard to argue that that Bitcoin is going to be the most secure option out there. We even had a Twitter Spaces about, as much as we still like Ethereum and we think Ethereum is going to be there, Ethereum is not as safe as Bitcoin. Like, there are several projects out there that could take out Ethereum. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, how is that possible? Ethereum's just so far ahead. Guys, cryptocurrency is still very young and very new, and we're still innovating and growing and making things better. I don't think Ethereum is necessarily safe as the king of altcoins. I think that it has a good shot and it's got a good head start. And if it continues to play its cards right, it'll stay up there, but it's not a sure thing. I don't think you can make the argument that Cardano is a sure thing. It's one of my favorites. I love it. I have high hopes and it's going to be one of the top holders. But to me, I don't necessarily see Cardano, Ethereum, Solana, Matic. I think XRP, is making a better case, but I don't think any of these things are sure things, because even what we're seeing right now is we're watching banks themselves create their own coins using blockchain technology, and you could even see centralized coins like that outdo some of these more decentralized ones, and the ones that a lot of the ecosystem right now, the crypto people are infatuated with. But let's remember, probably like saying 5% of the world is investing in cryptocurrency is probably being generous. I mean, there's more than 95% of the people left. Well, guess what? Most people in this world are sheep. Most people are not going to think through what's the best thing for my freedom and what's the best thing for my power. They're going to do whatever is easiest, whatever's being shilled to them. They listen to the powers that be. And are the powers that be going to recommend Ethereum and XRP and Solana and ADA? No, they're not. They're going to recommend these centralized business-owned or CBDC coins to people for them to utilize those. But what you're seeing already develop is the institutions are falling in love with Bitcoin. Even world orders are falling in love with Bitcoin. I think that you make the argument there's a lot of ones that are threatened by Bitcoin, but they realize this is the truth. This is the most decentralized thing out there. It has so much power, it has so much value. We need to incorporate it and grow it. I think Bitcoin's a pretty safe bet, not to be a thing that's used as money, but as something that will be used as a store of value greater than gold. I think that's what the future of it looks like in this world. And so to me, getting that one Bitcoin is my top priority in my crypto investments. After that, I'm looking for good investments here and there, and how I want to grow that.
Heck yeah.
Well, let's read these super chats, because we do have, and then we're going to answer to our trivia question. What time is it? Oh yeah, it was a good conversation, great conversation, but that took a lot longer than I thought it would. Matt C said, in honor of the last morning show, the final round of coffee and donuts is on me. Keep up the great work, fellas. Proud to have been with you since day one. Yes, Matt C. And here's one of the things. Again, I know there's people out there that because of the new change to the Daily Show, they're not going to be able to watch it live anymore. Then you have people like Matt C. though, who's he has been a supporter since day one, but he usually doesn't. He's not able to jump until later. Now, people like him who are out in California, they'll be able to watch the show now. There's some people I know we've talked to Bedridden. He believes that could help. Some European viewers that want to watch. There's no time slot that is perfect for every single person. So that's why we're going to do our very, very best to continue to produce as much content that is able to reach as many people as possible. So please continue to give us support and help us on this journey. Elliot Locke gave another super chat saying, if so, do vet TA, so VChain TA, and Chainlink seems to be getting a lot of attention. I've been seeing a lot of vids on it. Any idea why? Chainlink is, and I think Chainlink is another one. I haven't mentioned that. Whenever I talk about altcoins, I kind of
talked about it yesterday.
Number.
Yeah.
I'm big on Chainlink, and Chainlink's interoperability is something that the crypto space absolutely needs in all the communication. Just think about it. There's some lack of interoperability in terms of other things we have right now. Like if you have Apple products and then you have Microsoft products and then you have, whatever, I don't know all the brands and the computers, but a lot of times they have trouble communicating. We're doing the same thing here with cryptocurrency where Cardano and Ethereum and Solana and this and that, they have a hard time communicating. Chainlink is going to be heavily utilized to help cross reference things and help communicate and help make things work together so that the world actually goes forward. Again, is it a safe thing? Could someone else build something to rival it? They absolutely could. And so that's what I'm saying.
But
I still think,
their biz dev team is so ahead.
Yeah.
Like they're not just a monopoly in the technology; they're also a monopoly in the biz dev. Like they have all the relationships and they get all the referrals.
Yeah. I'm big on Chainlink. Again, just so you guys know, I didn't want to say any of that to like scare you off of altcoins. I'm big on Ethereum. I'm big on Cardano. It's crazy to say this. I'm big on Solana. Like I think Solana has a long way that it can keep going. I'm big on XRP. I think these are all things, and I'm big on Chainlink. I think these are all coins that could have great futures. I'm just trying to make the argument. If you guys are thinking like these are like safe bets for like the next 20 years, it's a little too early to say they're safe bets for the next 20 years. That's my point.
All right. Well, this factoid elf is absolutely losing his mind, swinging his legs. So we got to get to the factoid of the day, the answer of it, which is this: Litecoin. Let's take a look here. The first one, obviously, your boy, Bitcoin, but then it was Litecoin. Then it was one called Namecoin, and then Peercoin. And these are active currencies. I don't know exactly what the difference between an inactive and active, but there were some in 2024 called CoinEye, OneCoin, and who remembers BitConnect? But anyway,
BitConnect.
Yeah. So then,
now, did Peercoin like rebrand or anything, or is it still called Peercoin?
Let's take a look here. Whoa, I scrolled quite a bit lower. Let's take a look and see Peercoin. I'm not sure. I thought I saw it the other day. I think it's like a green Peercoin. Yeah.
I'd never heard of it.
PPC, is that the one that's quoting here?
What's it ranked?
Yeah, PPC. Well,
it's still called Peercoin. That's quite an ugly little chart has right there. It's at 30 cents. What's the market cap? I can't
market
see it.
Cap is 8 million, 8.5 million.
Oh, that's a dead project.
700 rank 750. Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But CoinMarketCap's rankings are all weird. I don't know what's going on with their rankings, but it's not by market cap anymore. I don't know if you've noticed that. But if you look, maybe it's some settings I have on mine. But like if you look, there's a couple that are out of order. Of course, I probably won't be able to find it right now, but yeah, we'll move on. All right, look, we got a lot of stories to get through. But I wanted to show you guys this really quickly. Just kind of going through we're talking about. We're gonna go lower from here. We're gonna go down to 20K on Bitcoin, right? That's a prediction. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. But if you look here, like the distance between where we are now and the halving is very similar. And if you look in the last two halvings, you can see in the run up to the halving, it was mainly sideways. Back here in 2016, in the movement up into the halving, there's kind of an exception to that, right? And when it got into the purple zone, it did make a move higher. But back here, in the move in 2020, it made a move lower before it went into the halving. So guys,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to realize it if you're like, it's everything we've been talking about. I mean, but this, I just wanted to show you guys this chart. It's not like I'm telling you anything new. It's just, that's what it is. All right. Tim Draper has launched Crypto Accelerator despite U.S. regulatory crap show, says his partner. I'm not going to go into too much detail here. It's just, a billionaire is making a bet in the bottom of the bear market, right? Just trying to say, hey, look, I guess it's not the bottom of the bear market, but saying, hey, he's unveiled a new crypto-centric venture studio, Draper Gorin Blockchain, and it comes with a clear mission to accelerate DeFi innovations, layer 2 network scaling solutions, and customer apps, including gaming and social experiences. So this is pretty interesting that accelerate DeFi innovations and layer 2 networking solutions. What does that mean? That means that he's kind of making a bet on Ethereum there. A lot of folks, because what is the problem with Ethereum? It's slow and it's costly. What is the solution though? Layer 2s, right? And more innovative layer 2s. Polygon is kind of the big layer 2 in the room that does a really great job of making Ethereum faster and less costly. But I guess in theory, more layer 2s would do a better job. Also, you have sharding coming for Ethereum, which also would help it. So next story here, Bitcoin and crypto face turbulence as 10-year U.S. Treasury yields hit 15-year high. Now, this is a thick boy story here, so we're going to go through it. I'm just going to read it, and then, Tim, maybe you can give kind of your take, because this was a story that you felt that we should go over. So longest yield curve inversion ever. Historically, an inverted yield curve where short-term yields are higher than long-term ones has been a harbinger of economic downturns. Notably, the 10-year minus the 3-month Treasury yield curve has been inverted for a record 217 trading days. Now, guys, let's go ahead. Let me give you a visual, because more than likely you don't know what I'm talking about here yet. So taking a look here, you can see what exactly I'm referring to, which is this. Okay, back here you've got the younger dated bonds, and here you've got the older dated bonds. So you buy this bond, you got to hold it for 30 years. That's an older dated bond. You buy this bond, you've only got to hold it for 3 months. Okay, now the yields are here, and you can see that these yields are lower than these yields. 4.7, 4.5 versus 5.4. So this yield is actually healing. The curve is actually healing, sorry, but this is still wrong. These numbers should be lower than these numbers. So going back to the article, just wanted to give you guys a visual for that. So going back to the article, we'll keep reading. And it's been like this for a record 217 trading days, probably 218 by the time we're reading this. Past data indicates that the longer the delay between the inversions and the start of a recession, the more severe the recession is likely to be. Okay, so that's bad. Very bad. With supply-side inflation out of control and oil prices back to $90, the Fed has no choice. Higher for longer is back, right? This is that quote from yesterday. The Altcoin Daily did a whole video on, which was Jerome saying some of these factors are outside of our control. Yeah, well, that's this right here. And that is Putin and what's his name of Saudi Arabia. I can't remember his name right now, but Jerome Powell have made clear his intentions, signaling the potential for an additional rate hike this year and forecasting fewer cuts next year. It now forecasts half a percentage point of rate cuts in 2024. Prior, the dot plot showed cut rates by a full percentage point next year. So that's bearish as well, right? But it's a signal. I will point out that's just a signal that a lot can change, right? They go by the data, allegedly. So then the last bit of detail here. Historically, rising yields are indicative of an expectation of higher interest rates, which increase the cost of borrowing. This scenario often leads to a reduction in speculative investments, with investors favoring more stable yield-bearing assets over risky options such as Bitcoin and crypto. So that's the kicker there towards the end. So Tim, what does this mean? Is this going to play into the more of the narrative that we just talked about with Bitcoin coming down to 20K, or is this something else? Is this something bigger that who knows what could happen to Bitcoin's price?
It's bigger. It's bigger. I don't think this is what catapults Bitcoin down. I think it's going to be something else. I think there's a level of manipulation in it. I think there's actually going to be a big move. We're going to wake up one day and there's going to be a big move and no one's going to know why. And then what's going to happen is there's going to be rumors. So like that's the other thing to think about is sometimes price goes down because there was an actual catalyst, like X, it's proven X sold this, and this. But some days the price just moves down and nobody knows why, and then everyone tries to blame it on something. Like, for example, in this last couple of months, how many times was it blamed? How many times did you guys see price go down by like 5% in one day? And then there's all these rumors circulating that the U.S. government had been selling, or Mt. Gox had been selling their Bitcoin, and then you had to wait a couple of days and let the dust clear. And it's like, no, that never happened. Well, then, okay, why did the price dump? You want to know that price dumped? The price dumped because people sold and not enough people bought, and that's what makes the price go down. And a lot of times that is happening in such large quantities from whales and institutions who are in the game to manipulate price, to sell tops and buy bottoms, but convince you to do the opposite so they can take your supply. I say that almost daily, and it continues to show to be proof. What this is referring to, and I'd love to have, maybe sometime next week, we'll get Caleb Franzen to come join the show and break this down, because this is his area of expertise. But I know I've been watching how he's talking about this, and I think he still believes that things are going to get rough, but I think he's in the same kind of category and boat of some things that we heard from Jerome Powell, that recession, like it or not, and there's going to still be pain between now and then, but recession probably is going to come closer towards 2027. And so when we're looking at this, the question is, how bad is that recession going to be? I think this is a can that can keep getting kicked down the road with higher levels of interest rates. We talked about that earlier on the show, that I'm not convinced that there's going to be a higher interest rate. There might be. There absolutely could be a higher interest rate, but I don't think that's going to happen. I actually think they're going to keep the interest rates at about 5.5 for well over a year, maybe even into 2025 before they cut rates. And I also think there's a possibility this might be the first time that we see interest rates cut, and it not be because the recession is about to happen. It's just because they got the numbers they want. They want to see the economy do well to stave off a recession. So they cut rates, and stock market and risk on assets like Bitcoin and crypto end up moving to the upside. But the other thing that I want to see is, will the world used to operate on the gold standard. We used to have firm money, and it was a lot better economic system. A lot of problems have happened as countries have gone off of a gold standard and lost some good, solid foundation of value. But Bitcoin is going to start making its case to the world. We're already seeing it happen in the largest institutions in the space. We're seeing some of the largest companies in the world acquiring it. I'm interested to see. Bitcoin's never been in a harsh recession. Of course, it was created due to the last harsh recession. I know some people are going to try to make explanations as to why it should crash in 2027, and more than likely we will see it dip because that's the perfect time for a bear market bottom. But I'm not convinced yet that Bitcoin is going to have doom and gloom if there's a massive recession. We actually might see people more running to put their money into Bitcoin, because a recession will come with a crash of the US dollar and a crash of the stock market and a crash of all these other things. And rich people do not like to lose their value. And we're seeing the death of the US dollar, and we're watching this, and a recession means the stock market is going down. Bitcoin might be the number one place that money actually wants to flow into, due to the fear and concern in every other market in the space. So we got to continue to watch to see how that plays out. But the answer is no. I don't think that this story is what's going to take us below 20,000. I think this story is something we're going to continue to kick down the road. And I think we're not going to see the repercussions until closer, maybe end of 2026, early 2027.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do think it's interesting, but ultimately we just have to wait and see. You have to be patient and continue to hedge. I mean, two other assets that rich people like to buy in looming and set recessions are bonds and gold and real estate, right? Those three have also been good hedges against inflation historically. I think real estate is probably the least attractive in this cycle, but probably bonds will be attractive, and certainly gold. Gold definitely seems like it's going to be attractive.
That's my point, is that if gold's going to be attractive, more and more every single day, people are viewing Bitcoin like gold.
Yes. It kind of occurred to me, and I know we're going to be hitting.
Yeah, we got to wrap up. Yeah.
It kind of occurred to me yesterday, though. It's like, if there is there's been this looming recession narrative, which I'm to the point. I'm past the point now where I'm just like, there's not going to be a recession. Like, they keep talking about this recession. I think that there's a potential for giant TradFi capitulation, like all of the crazy amount of debt that the world is in, that could come back to haunt us in a single moment of time. But I just the recession that's brought on by economic factors. I mean, yeah, you have oil prices coming back up, but they're still not elevated to the point where it's going to alone cause a recession. That could change. What I think is going to happen, or what occurred to me, is like they want to just keep rolling out this FUD, right? Rolling out this FUD until it comes true, until something happens, maybe from the commercial real estate, maybe from bank bonds, like commercial bonds, something happening there, until it comes true. And then everybody sells off their risk assets, including Tesla and Amazon and Google, right? And and then the smaller cap stocks, like, so they want to buy all of that, and they want to buy Bitcoin, right? And so they want something bad to happen, right? But for the purposes of being able to scoop up Bitcoin at a lower price, and then. But what's interesting is where the ETFs get introduced. That's the part that's a little bit confusing to me, and I bet that they also don't have that one quite figured out yet, because there's a couple of different scenarios where it's not clear how that would roll out. But all right, we've got two more stories here, Tim. I'm sure you had a response to that, but
we are gonna have to wrap up the show. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. But here's the thing, and we forget to say this all the time, guys. The show is ending, but the conversation never ends over in the Discord channel.
That is so
Check
true,
out the link
Tim.
down below. And there's a free version. There's levels that you can become members and get into more private chats with us and join our bro times. But the free version is still amazing. We have some great conversations over there. I want to close out like we were going to do from here on out with live shows, just kind of bringing back the entire bros community back to humanity. And you know what? Like, Brokoshi Not an Arrow just left a comment. I'm going to read. He goes, "Hey, y'all, off topic. Big Rob from Sin City Crypto is sick in the hospital. Keep him in your prayers." First of all, absolutely. My Big Rob, I didn't know this. So Rob is in my prayers. Rob is amazing. The guys over there at Sin City Crypto are fantastic. You guys need to be more like people like Sin City Crypto. They have just been so friendly. I remember when they first started their channel, I met them around the time, and their hunger to not only grow their channel and just be involved, but also to see other people do well. I love the guys from Sin City Crypto very, very much so. So Rob, we are praying for you. We love you. And this kind of brings it into what my thought of the day was going to be, is remember why you got into crypto. I've said this a lot, but I'm going to say it again. Remember why you got into crypto, because one of the worst things in the world, and this is going to sound crazy, but like, no disrespect to Kevin O'Leary, but when he put out tweets a couple of months ago where he pretty much said friends can come and go, family can come and go, but chase money and you'll get the rest. That is one of the dumbest pieces of advice I've ever heard. If you pursuing money costs you your family, costs you your friends, costs you the people that probably were part of the reason why you first got into crypto in the first place, crypto is not worth it. I can tell you that right now. I would rather be broke and have to be jumping from couch to couch, but still have my family and my friends, than to have $1 billion in my bank account. And that's one of the things we talked about earlier. This weekend and every week, take some time, take a day, at least take a couple of hours to get away from crypto, get away from finance, get away from the cares of this world, and go spend time with the people who are your top priority. Assess your priority list. Why do you want to make more money? Is it just for selfishness? Okay, do your thing. But if you are like me and you got into crypto to care for your family, your friends, and your loved ones, do not neglect them during your pursuit of wealth. Continue to set time aside for them, because they are your top priority, and then come back into the grind for 6 days a week to actually pursue wealth and cryptocurrency. Guys, I hope that this show and this morning show has blessed you guys as much as all of you have blessed me and T Shroom. While we will no longer be live at 9 a.m., we remind you we will be still putting out some great content at 9 a.m. And for those of you who can join us from here on out at 4 to 5 on Monday through Friday and Saturdays at 11 a.m., we are going to continue to rock with the show pretty much the exact same way. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning, and then we'll see you next Monday in the afternoon. You guys have a great, fantastic weekend.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing pros. Investing pros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shouted out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms News got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper. Turn that better to cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.